Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. Wow, I look crazy, huh? Yeah. Trying to run around and do everything at one time. Ugh, I had a doctor's appointment. My stomach hurt in the middle of it. The energy is so crazy. I don't know if you guys have been experiencing that. Well, for those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Laura, and I'm going to do a message for my winner. But no, if you landed on this, you're going to resonate with the message because that's how it works. You're a mirror of who and what comes into your life. You're a magnet to what you need, not what you want, but what you need. Yeah, and the thing is that what we need a lot of times comes in a good looking package, comes in a familiar package. And so when we get so close up to a person and we have this emotional connection, well, then we can't read anymore. It's like we can read for other people, but when it comes to our own stuff. So hopefully within these readings, you'll learn how to integrate the spiritual lesson. Because on this channel, I like to dive deep. I like to look at everything because everything's important. Like we want to know whether the person cares about us, whether they what they're going to do, whether they have feelings for us. But we also want to know why they do what they do. Because what they do has the potential to awaken trauma that we already have that needs to be integrated or create trauma. And when we have trauma, then we have baggage. And when we have baggage, it makes it essentially impossible for us to manifest. So the readings are not just yes or no and what this is going to happen, they have a therapy style to them. And the reason why is because there's many different realities that play out at one time. Your level of consciousness depends on your core beliefs, and your core beliefs are based on the experiences that you lived, the families and the environments that you grew up in. So, what you created to survive will many times block you from actually manifesting later on in life. So, you want to know what you can do to actually avoid any negative karmic consequences. That's one. And number two, how you can quantum jump into the reality that you want to experience and whether it's even possible to create balance within your connection. Because believe it, sometimes there is a way. It doesn't mean that you should get so caught up in trying to create that way. What it means is that if you have a past life karmic mate that's ready to step it up to a twin flame, well, a lot is required of you in order to make that person walk into that level. And what that means is that the person, that past life karmic mate, is ready to do so, but they don't know how to step into a higher level of consciousness. They need a muse, they need somebody to mirror. And I feel, it's crazy. I'm on the Scorpio channel, but I'm feeling like a lot of Virgo energy. So, like, you're someone that, like, does things in a certain way, like you put a lot of heart into what you do. You're a perfectionist. When you love something, you really love something, and that's why you're really an empath. You really can make it. So you do things on an unconventional way. And so I mean, I'm just gonna talk before I pull cards, because whatever spirit tells me, I'm gonna tell you because it's gonna fit into the reading somehow. I don't know. It's like, but just go with it. I'll understand. It's like I feel like this, like you have a lot of passion. You have a lot of love. When you love something, you really love it. You really care about it. So you're able to manifest easily. But then when it comes to relationships, there's always this weird energy. Hey, my winner's on board. All right. I'm not going to butcher your name. Takaroro Henderson. I know I didn't say it right. But I have a really bad, I can't pronounce words. I make up my own words. Kara. That's right, Kara. Yes, you just should have wrote Kara, you know, because I remember. All right. So understand if you have a twin flame connection, a lot of times it's because you need to transmute, you're both ready to transmute spiritual blocks. If it's a past life karmic mate, then the person isn't ready to transmute spiritual blocks, and there's a lesson to be learned. And again, there's many different realities that play it at one time. So again, I'm just going to tell you what you need to know. So first what we do is we pull a card to see what the underlying energy. My allergies are killing me. All right. Let's see what they are. I'm going to pull two. See, the underlying energy influences why everyone does what they do. So you want to know, like, hey, why was this person going to come back and they didn't come back? Or why did they feel what they feel? So the underlying energy is, look at this, compassion. Oh, I don't know if you're going to like this because I'm already feeling something. Thank you so much, Melissa. So, I'm feeling compassion, and you might not like what I have to say, but it's like I feel like this person's coming back into your life, and I feel like they're only coming back into your life because you're like no one that they've ever met. You're someone that is very compassionate. You're very healing. You're someone that again is like an empath, always in that creative vibe. But like when you love something, you really love it, and this person felt that love. They felt that love, but you don't know what you got till it's gone. That's why the song goes the way that it does, So the person's fearful. They're fearful that they're gonna lose you. And you might be like, this person was an asshole. Yes, that's usually how it works because people have spiritual blocks. And if, it triggered you, we're going to look and see why that triggered you because that means you need healing. And that means that you probably didn't deal with this person in a way that could shape shift the energy, that could push you into a place of empowerment. And usually, again, empowerment is somewhere that you're lacking within your life because you're blocked. If the person you're like, the person that I'm dating, it's like they drive, but they're like Mr. Magoo. They can't see anything. It's like 10 steps forward, 18 steps backwards. We never get anywhere. It's always the same. The person gets in their own way. It's frustrating. It creates a lot of emotional energy, which again, then we're caught up in that. And so again, there's always a spiritual component that you need to learn, that it's not really about you. You perceive that it's about you. It's really about the other person and what they've gone through. So lately I've been mixing it up, and I want where I'm like, I don't really want to start where like what this person did. And we kind of want to look and see where are they? Where are they? What are they going to do? And what are your blocks? Because you know what, you may not even, again, that you're not in a connection right now. You're not in a connection right now. This person wants to come back. And I say I kind of feel a little fear. I love this person, but this person's an asshole. This person's not nice. I can't trust them. And now I'm stuck in like a cognitive dissonance, which is I want the person, but I don't. It's like I don't really know how to act. It's creating a lot of emotion. I don't know what I feel about it. Is the underlying energy for you, because the other person is like, I feel like I can come back. You'll give me grace. I'm ashamed of how I treated you. Didn't I tell you? I said, it's always that. that the person doesn't see it until after the person leaves. So you want to know where they are now. I feel like I can be my true self around you. And I think that that's, true, because you're someone that's a highly sensitive person. You're someone that is an emotional person. This is a spiritual connection. So even though this person normally wears masks and can't really be transparent, I feel like has a hard time being transparent over time when you're like around someone like you that's very emotional, and like again, as when you care about something, you overlook a lot of the negative. You tend to like be a very positive person when you like something and you're in that energy. So I feel like this person, you know the mask just didn't need to be worn all the time. And that again, when you don't have a person or in your life that you don't have to put a show on, it's like I said, it takes the load off. This person, I feel like, feels inadequate normally. They feel like that there's something off with them, and when a person feels like there's something off with them, they perceive that other people feel that way about them. So it's a rarity that this person normally feels comfortable. Now that doesn't mean that they're not a successful person. This person, if they're focused talking about money, if they're talking about business, if they're talking about sports, if they're talking about something that they like, oh yeah, then they can sound intelligent. But with the opposite sex, somebody that, you know, even if it's not the opposite sex, someone that just has a lot of that, like a lot of masculine energy per se, where they're around somebody that has a lot of feminine energy. It's like this person always puts their foot in their mouth. They get in their own way. So they tend to not say anything. It's easier for them to not say anything and perceive as if they don't really care. But with you, when it's a soul connection, there's a feeling of, I want to do this. And this person doesn't normally have that. You know, there was someone keeping me from you. So again, whether that person is still lingering, or again, so I feel like this person, no one can keep anybody from anybody. Understand that. Unless they're being guilted, and that's still not making them. But that means that there's an emotional connection to somebody else. But I feel like it's an emotional connection, but one that's based on guilt, one that's based on manipulation, one that's based on, like, again, more of a trauma bond. And a trauma bond keeps people connected to their pain, to their fear, to their childhood wounds. So, again, I feel like no one can keep anyone from anyone. And if this person hasn't given enough time or energy, I feel like this person might have told you that they were single before they were actually single. And we've been getting that a lot. I mean, I wish I could fix things between us, but now I feel like this person feels like that that you think that they're a liar. But in the beginning, we have compassion. So they still want compassion, but like I said, the fear of, I'm ashamed how I treated you because there was somebody here the whole time. I think, again, this person isn't comfortable around that person, that there's intimacy issues. And issues happen with trust issues. So, what you know is that this person pretended to be single and they weren't single. So, in that, there's major trust issues within that connection. And when you have major trust issues, what happens is that you don't want to sleep with the person anymore because the person's angry. They feel betrayed. It's a second chakra imbalance. It's like, and understand that normally happens when you grow up in an environment where there's betrayal. like that close, whether a mother or father or sister or brother, like does something and betrays you, but it's a person that should love you, like that. If it's a mother, like I said, someone within the family, a best friend, someone that close, that personal, that karmic theme of betrayal plays out. And it plays out in the aspect of there's intimacy issues. And why? Because there's a second chakra imbalance. Second chakra imbalance is that someone's dependent on somebody else. So I feel like someone is a baby daddy or a baby mommy. So it's like they're dependent on someone else. There's responsibility, which makes that guilt. Again, where this person's like, I have to be here. It's like they don't really have to be there. Understand they can do things differently, but they have to love themselves enough. And if this person doesn't know who they are and they've been around somebody that has, emotionally manipulated them, well, then that's going to be a problem. So again, it was just going to keep them in, again, repetitive cycles, like where it doesn't change. So this person and you would never really be able to move forward. And that's really what it is. It's like this person knows if they even came to you, they would actually have to surrender their ego. They would actually have to do things differently. They'd they'd have to like leave that, whether it's with a family, whether it's with like it doesn't matter. It's that this person, their second chakra is what? It's a person's individuality. It's who you perceive you are. It's your emotional center. It's how you can go with the flow of life. And that's by being in the passion for life. It's your birthing center. What are you creating? This person isn't creating anything. Somebody else is creating with their energy. And they're manipulating them through, guilt, through whatever means, gaslighting, manipulation. But understand the universe is always going to bring people and situations and experiences to help awaken everybody, not just this person. But in this instant, we say, why did you come into this person's life? If this is what you're going to get, you're connected to a person that wants to be with you, but can't be with you because they're not strong enough. And we have to say, well, what the hell are they doing? Because what are they doing to control their emotions? Because if it's real love, that's not really easy to to hold back. Love can't be manipulated. It transcends time and space. But if the person has trauma and they're in this low vibration because they have trauma where they don't know who they are, they don't like who they are, they're being guilted, they're being manipulated, then it's like, what is the imbalance? What are they doing? Like, what are their habits and their behaviorisms is what I want to know. Well, right now it's like they're being, the environment is always, I said, the key to why this person is the way that they are is that they're constantly around people that criticize them. So they're in a place of victimization where they can't really, that anxiety, and the anxiety is too much thought, too much emotion, because they're conflicted. They're in a cognitive dissonance, which is I want it, but I don't, which is actually the energy that you're in, which is like I want it and I don't. And so, and that's because this person feels like they're not enough. And so money is a representation of that. And I also feel like someone has too much control over, like, again, every aspect of this person's life. And that might be included the money. So, and I feel like someone that's around them is jealous, and it could be family. And so, understand like this person is just in a place of paranoia. So, you don't really see them doing anything. Why is that? Well, stuck in fight, flight, or freeze, stuck in stupid. It's like that's what happens when there is like severe, trauma from a psychological trauma where a person has been beaten throughout them that they're a bad person, that they're a bad person, that they're not enough, that they're not good enough, that it's almost like that they're not deserving of love. That is really how psychological reversals happen. It's when a person begins to believe that they are not that they're not deserving of the love. And so love can come in the form of abundance, which is money. It can come in the form of, again, love, friendship, again, anything that's going to give you passion, passion for life. You are supposed to become an expression of passion, which is by doing what you love, by becoming what you love. Remember, the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it. But if you're around people that make you feel like shit about yourself and make you feel bad about yourself, well, then your mind is going to be there. And so you can have an adult person that just has all this fragmentation, but you're not going to see that. This person feels bad about how they treated you. We'll look and see how they treated you, but it's actually not really even important because you know that they weren't there. You know that they couldn't be there. And they can't be there because whoever is in charge of their energy is making sure that they're not. How can a person control somebody? Divide and conquer. They isolate them. So the problem is that this person's so fragmented, they wouldn't be able to treat you well at all. They would actually treat you just as bad as they were being treated. You would think that they would treat you nicer, but no. And it's because there's, again, the sense of rebellious, and that's the persona. I don't need love. I don't need that to be nurtured. Because if this person really had to admit how they lived, they would actually break down. Yeah, abuse is passed down, and it's all about, again, submissive. So when we say, again, how did they treat you? Well, then they expect you to be submissive to their needs because they're not strong enough to stand up and set boundaries with the people that are in their environment. So they're expecting you to deal with, whatever's going on. So you're like, why do I have to pay for it? And Spirit says, well, that's the karmic theme, that you're like, why am I always paying for other people's shit? It's like, why does that happen to me? And Spirit says, well, that is why you attract people that can't show up for you. Because again, where are you creating? What are you creating? You're supposed to be the expression of love by becoming love and not looking for this person to fill your cup up. You have to fill your cup up yourself, Spirit says. Otherwise, of course, this person's not strong. So they're going to expect you to put up with whatever they put up with, which means disrespect, which means, them also being completely triggered all the time, because if you start putting your energy into yourself and you begin to grow yourself, this person's going to feel like they can't have it. They'll be triggered with jealousy because we all have an ego part of self. Okay. And that ego part of self, God gave us to say, express yourself how you want to. You're all uniquely different. So what you like is not going to be what this person likes, what isn't what this, but all of it's great. God says it's like you express that part for yourself. But no, you also have a God part of self, and that's the deity part of self that needs to always be in the energy of unconditional love. That means that you're a clear conduit for the universe to work through, because the universe is what? It's prana, it's also spirit. It's God, because God's ubiquitous. So when you have spiritual blockages, it makes it very difficult for the energy to circulate through you, to work through you. And so again, we're supernatural when we're putting our energy towards becoming ourselves, growing ourselves, creating ourselves, then you're getting a good connection to, again, not just you and the higher self, but every single person who you connect to. And what are you doing? You're the expression of love. This person doesn't know who they are. You, what did we say? We said you manifest easy. Why? Because it's when you love something, but you're connected to something that isn't like, can't love you back, not the way that you would need to in order to really be the expression of love. So this is the fear. It's like, well, if the person comes back, it's like I would kind of want to like, I kind of want to have both, and there's a sense that spirit says, well, it's again, the problem is that this person, you know, you'd have to be very strong. And so sometimes spirit says, well, you know, you get people to teach you how to be. A lot of times, I mean, a lot of times you get the part, you're like, I really wanted that position. Did you know how to do it? No, I lied. I got the position. I never did that before. But oh, I've been doing it. Yeah, I'm great at it. But you don't know what the hell you doing. I did that with hairdressing. Yeah, yeah, I know how to do it. Yeah, I can make your hair whatever color you want. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. It's like you wing it. It's like because you want that opportunity, because you want that's the ego. That's again when you're like there's passion, and what that you see here is that this person has a passion for you, but they're not strong enough to even go and get it. And that means they don't love themselves enough. And that's what makes a karmic a karmic. And I say that only because if you're attracting someone like that, spirit saying, I don't think you love yourself enough. And so spirit says it needs to be up to a certain standard because I live inside of you as a gift to spirit. So again, that's the energy of unconditional love. So you're fragmented if you attracted a person like this. And that could be just through past relationships. Like I grew up in a great family, but I dated a bunch of losers. I dated a bunch of people that created major trust issue and anxiety. And now I'm like I can't seem to let it go. It keeps playing with it throughout my life. And so really it's more this type of connection, believe it or not, even though you're like, I have passion for this person. And I can tell you that this person has passion for you too, but spirit says, yeah, but it's a karmic. Just so you know, it's a karmic. It's an illusion, it's a facade. Like you see who this person could be, but they are not that. You see the best version of them. It's like almost like when you're driving and whatever looks in the rear view, it looks like it's much closer than it actually is. It's like where it's like this person, they need to like heal. So it's more about what do you need to heal? Because once you heal, you're not on the same energy vibration, and a lot of times you begin to see the person differently. And that's really how you cut that karmic cord, because you're like, well then fuck, now I'm connected to this person that can't give to me, and they're like emotionally retarded. No offense to the retard people. It's like literally like you're not even that. You're like worse than that, because then you get mad because you're like, why? Because it creates so much pain. And it's like, and it's because it's activating a wound that you have inside of you, is what spirit, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, is telling you. Saying, hey, this is blocking us. Just so you know, it's blocking us from manifesting. You wanted that job, didn't you? You wanted that opportunity, didn't you? Well, it's again, as long as that's there though, it's a no-go. Spirit says it's like, because you have to be clear, can do it. So you have to integrate the spiritual lesson without, yeah, like, so withdraw. So I feel like, and that's really what it is, to like it to that you get people that emotionally just don't show up or can't show up because they're flawed. And so understand this person really feels that they're flawed. But when we say, well, let's look and see what did they think their reality is? Because understand their reality doesn't mean that that's really what's going to happen. Or let's see whether the universe chimes in and it's a whole completely spiritual connection where it wouldn't make sense on the physical realm because you'd be like, well, what the fuck was that? The person treated me horribly the whole time. Like if they came into my life to treat me like that, okay, what the fuck? Where spirit says, well, there's a lot of spiritual healing that needed to be done here. And so how the universe says, how do you think I make things work? It's like I have to heal you. I have to help you revert back to the energy of unconditional love. You're blocked. Your perceptions. So again, there might be a lot of spiritual knowledge, or it just might you might understand why this person acted the way that they did. So it's again, I'm beginning to focus on my mission, and our connection is part of that. So this person actually feels like somehow they're going to be in your life. Again, like I said, doesn't mean that this is the truth. This is their reality, that this is what they perceive. And maybe it's because they're good in business. But it doesn't necessarily mean that that's, remember, I feel like whatever you're doing, you are really loving and pouring into it. And this person, I feel like, is getting inspired by it, but they're not healthy enough to. So it's again their ego, their ego. This journey is teaching us one of the most important spiritual lessons, patience. So it's again, this person feels like maybe like with if they're patient, like again, that takes time, that they feel like they actually are healing. Now, I'm not saying that they're not, but we don't heal on the same time schedule. You're supposed to continue to live. We just wanted to see what they think. Please don't give up on me. I'm trying to change, but it takes time. So this person actually wants you in their life. I want to let my guard down with you, but fear makes me lash out in self-defense. So they get triggered and they project and they have a lot of wounds. So again, I feel like this is a past life karmic mate and they haven't integrated the spiritual lessons. So when a person hasn't learned, there's a lot of passion that's driving them, but this person is not healed enough. I feel like whatever you're doing, they see you're going to start making things happen within your life. And this person wants to be a part of it. That's what I see here, which obviously they would, because what we saw is that they don't really have an identity. What we saw was again that somebody else puppets them, that they're controlled by guilt, that they're controlled. So in their mind, I feel like this person says, one day I'm going to leave. One day. And the problem is that that one day really never comes because they never get strong enough to set boundaries. What they get is they get repeat relationships where they tell people that they're in the process of leaving or they're leaving, but they never really leave. And that's what we see. So and we have to say, so the big thing here is, well, yeah, someday never comes. Exactly. It's like, and you're going to be like, why the hell am I waiting here? But, and obviously you would get mad because you'd be like, well, you're so fucking selfish. And this person actually would feel okay about it. You know why? Because somebody else is controlling their life. So they're angry and they're hurt. So they're like, I don't really care. It's like they feel entitled. And that's the problem when people are not healed and they don't want to really come from their, like the truth, from that level of consciousness. They feel like it's okay that they're entitled. And so, yeah, that's good. I'm glad that you met someone new already because that's like horrible energy. It's like it's very selfish energy. But understand that person is connected to someone that they don't want to be connected to. They don't have a life. They don't have an identity. So they lie. And then the best that they can do is live in imagination land, which is why this person thinks that they can actually come back possibly one day, one day, one day. So you have to say, okay, so what needed to be healed? What did I need to look at? What was the whole point of that energy? And Spirit says, play. So we say, okay, we look at our inner child wounds and we're like, play. And Spirit says, yes. In the Bible, it says, be like childlike. Why is that? Because children go out into the world and they explore and they find things that interest them and they put their energy there. But if you grew up in an environment where it was very regimented, where you had to go to school and you had to maybe play sports and you needed to do this and you needed to do that, you didn't really have that much time of that. It was, again, your parents were more like, it needs to be done this way or that way. Again, so play. Children go out and they play. That's how the second chakra is really created. It's created through like how a child like has their unique unfoldment process. We're all different. And Spirit says, yeah, somebody interfered a lot with your second chakra. They wanted you to go to this school. They wanted you to be like, look like this, wear your hair like this, to do it like this. You were very influenced, and parents do that for two reasons. And this is a second chakra issue. They do it because either they care so much that they have so much fear and have so much anxiety, they just want the right thing, so they always like trying to fix it, or they don't give a shit at all. Like it's like either one or the other. Either you have a spoiled kid from the same thing, for whether the kid is spoiled or whether they're neglected. It's like they need balance. Balance is, where they are able to go out and find themselves and have the unfoldment process. And that wasn't with you. That was like, no, you're going to do this. You're going to clean the house. You're going to do the chores. You're going to make sure that this is done. And if you know what's good for you, you're going to have this. And oh, you didn't do well on that math test either. So, that like then you feel bad, feel shame, but well, I really should like study. I really should. It's like because then the child is more concerned about pleasing the parent because emotionally that's what children feel safe, when they emotionally are connected, not when the parent is always angry. And sometimes the parent is angry not because of the child, but they project because, well, the parent's not in a good marriage. So I feel like there was a lot of that. And so in that, it's what winds up feeling is just like I said, feeling like taking on that emotion, which is, by the way, part of the reason why you're very deep and emotional. You know, imagination. So we have a gift here, because understand, if kids are like, well, I have to be in this environment, but because I have to depend on these people, but I'm gonna check out. It's like, and how do they check out? Through the imagination, through playing, through daydreaming, through, but that they go into the psychic realm. See, that's why children are able to like tap into their psychic abilities and, see things that adults don't, because when you're in school and you're around adults and, school is important, but it teaches you how to think, where, again, the imagination is not that. It's, again, just drifts and it dreams. And through that, we get ideas, we get inspired, we become creative. And that means, again, more spiritual energy, because children can't really, like, again, they disassociate. It's like, I have to be here, but I'm not going to be here. And so where do they go? Well, they go into the psychic realm where spirit is. That's why they can see and but then they have gifts. And so again, laughter. So I feel like, again, how do children get laughter? They play. They go out and play. So understand. I feel like again, there was. It's not that you weren't a happy child, but it's like again, I feel like it was affected like more, that you weren't as happy because you weren't able to really go out and explore and find yourself and do the things that just called to you. And I'm not talking about like, hey, I wanted to like go off and shoot a gun. No, I'm talking about like, you know, I love to go ice skating, but I couldn't go ice skating because boys went ice skating. And my mother didn't want me to talk to boys. Or again, that there was always like this energy of control to like to make you afraid. And so yeah, like it's like you're when you're not a happy child, that's what happens. It's like, so children, like I said, they check out, so they become very spiritual, they become very intuitive, they become very that. And so that, because that's how they get hope. It's like through the imagination, because you can imagine yourself not being in that environment. It's like, and that's because there was a sense of feeling unworthy, and so that happens again from just being around parents that aren't happy, or, you know, they have a certain standard and you're not living up to that standard, which I feel like is who I'm reading for. So, like I said, that it was like constant like shame, like I feel bad about myself. And so that becomes a problem to manifest, because money has no energy except for the energy that you're giving it. So anything of abundance. So you have to say again, how can I transcend the limitations of my mind? Because you can, because remember, spirit lives inside of you. You can imagine it, you can create it, but you have to become it. You have to embody the energy. So we say, was that six? One, two, three, four, five. No, it wasn't. I'm looking for my other cards because I'm more interested now to see, to see that, and to see like why you attracted this person into your life. I found them. I found them. I found them. So it's like I don't have to dart my hands around like the whole time, like, trying to like, find them. So okay, so we say one more, spirit, one more. We pull, and it is security and safety. So understand when you don't feel nurtured, when you don't feel safe, just having a parent that's angry all the time, you just can't be comfortable. You can't be comfortable. And who I'm reading for, I feel like you need to train your nervous system, because growing up in that environment where, oh, I'm always uptight, I'm always uptight. You became very psychic, but then you're going to be tapping into everybody all the time. And sometimes people aren't thinking about you. And then you're going to think, this person has a problem with me. They don't like me, which I feel like you feel like a lot, Kara. I feel like that's been like a theme. Thank you. Thank you. I try to change the glasses up a bit. I have to. I have bought rhinestone ones, but there was a few rhinestones missing when I bought it. I got the glasses for free. I'm gonna go down and get more rhinestones. Anyway, like again, not feeling safe. Just not feeling secure. But understand, safety comes in feeling strong within yourself, because you can't control the environment. You can only change yourself. So, again, we need to train the nervous system. That can be done through breath work. It can be done through, many different healing exercises. And don't be like, oh, I have to do this shit. I don't have time for this shit. And get mad, because again, that'll be the energy. Like, yeah, my life looks like shit because of this. And spirit says, yeah, you're getting angry. That's a root chakra imbalance, and again angry because it's like, yeah, because it didn't work out. Like these people made it difficult, and the spirit says, no one fucked up your gem. Don't worry. It's like everything's in divine order, and you're like, this shit is in divine order. And spirit says, yeah, because again, I display my glory through those broken aspects, through those fragmented pieces of yourself. So, yes, I'm the person that brings you the safety and the security, is what Spirit says. I love you guys too. Like, so you know what I mean? Like, unlike the safety and the security. So, but you have to get strong within yourself. And that's by first and foremost, you have to train your nervous system, because you don't want to be reactionary. Like, meaning like you're intuitive, you feel something, you're dealing with somebody, you know that they don't like you, so you don't want to, you have to be as wise as a serpent but be as gentle as a dove, meaning I know that you don't like me, but I'm not going to tell you that I know. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to hold that information in my back pocket. It's like, because I don't need to. It's like, use my sensitivity to be strategic, not to be reactionary. Meaning, I know exactly what you're doing and I'm going to call you out on it. You son of a bitch. You think that I'm going to let you, like, try and take my promotion away from me? I know what you're doing. No, we don't want to do that. It's again where, because then you look like the bad guy. You look like the emotional guy. And I have to say, because growing up in an environment where you're highly sensitive, people will use your emotions against you. It's again, so your emotions can be they'll be the catalyst for you to manifest. But if you're not strong within yourself, people will use your emotions to manipulate you. And if you grew up in an environment where you were not strong with your mom and your dad, your mom or your main caregiver, then understand your relationship, your attachment style is going to be like, you're always going to attract the exact opposite, because remember, you get what you need. So you're like, I always attract this type of person. And spirit says, because that's the medicine that you needed. So the security of not feeling safe. So God says, no one makes you safe, you make yourself safe. And that's through, again, becoming yourself. That's through going out and playing. Why? Because you need to create support. Your healing mother and father. You got to reparent yourself. And you reparent yourself by, first and foremost, getting a better connection to the physical body, the physical world, all physical elements of the physical world. So you have to create a daily practice. You have to, again, do a little yoga, do a little, body mind medicine, get online, take a class, join my shadow healing coaching program, because I teach these modalities for $25 a month. By the way, it's a subscription. You come on, it's because you can recondition yourself. It's not a one and done when you have to heal yourself. And it's just because, hey, it was a habit. It's just a habit. And so it's that our mind is how we conditioned ourselves to be. And if the environment keeps telling you the same thing, you're going to be conditioned. But like, as we started this conversation, spirit said, yeah, like, what helped you survive is going to is going to block you. It's what's getting in your own way. That's why you always have to come from, be in the now, be in the moment. Only in the now do you get divine guidance, through gut, intuition, inner knowing. So understand, you don't have a good connection to yourself, because you get too rattled and overstimulated, because that was the environment. So there's a sense of feeling inadequate, of feeling like not good enough. And the spirit says, and that's you, because I don't make that. I don't that I didn't make that. That's from the environment. So that needs to be, like, cleared. So again, better connection to the physical body, and understand this will make a way where there is no way, just for you, God says. Don't look at it like, oh, have to do this. And God says, oh, you like that job that you're working at? You hate that job. You don't like anything that's going on in your life. So, really, Spirit's saying you should love the fact that this is an opportunity to help you get strong within yourself, connect to the higher self, which is the God part of self, and to help you get connect so deep with other people to become yourself, to become yourself, not the version of who someone told you to be, but who you need to be. And that's why you attracted who you attracted, because Spirit's saying, this, this isn't about molding to other ways and trying to be nice. This is for you to become yourself, and you become yourself by finding yourself, and that's by having a love affair with yourself, trying, seeing what calls you. Again, let your spirit lead you. Don't listen to anybody say, hey, take this class, do this. No, because you don't trust yourself. Trust comes from listening to yourself and saying, hey, I listened to them myself and I got a good thing. That's how it happens. Right. Again, whatever you're going to pour yourself into, you have to pour yourself into something to birth something. You have to birth something. You have to take that negative energy, because there's a lot of pain and and you have to transmute that energy. You're the alchemist of your life. Spirit says that energy just isn't gone because you're like, well, it's gone. I don't live at home with my parents anymore. I'm not dating that person anymore. This situation, Spirit says it doesn't matter. It needs to be transmuted. It's holding up. It's space. You're only in physical form to learn and to manifest, because again, you learn through the physical experience. And right now you're like, well, nothing's happening. And Spirit says, well, again, you're learning that nothing will happen unless you change. And you're like, or what happens, it's not a great experience. And Spirit says, well, again, if you're staring at it and say, I really, really want that, then Spirit says, then you can't have an attachment. You can't have an attachment. You have to get to a place of surrender. And the way that you do that is, like I said, through investing in yourself, becoming yourself. You got to create the security. You have to go out into the world and experience different things, because that's what stimulates your imagination. Oh, I saw this and I had this idea. It's like I experienced this and I felt like I could, do it better. I got an idea, or whatever it is, you let your spirit guide you. It's like you're trying to figure out things before they actually happen. And God says, look at this one. They're doing my job. They're going to drive off the cliff, but they think they're doing my job. They have to listen to me. They're not in charge of how they get there. I'm in charge of how we get there. You're only in charge of becoming yourself, being like childlike, using what's in your environment to become yourself, not the other way around. It's again, so you have to have a better connection to your physical body, because you're so overstimulated, and then you're focused on what you got to do, and and the outside things of making money. And Spirit says money comes when you become yourself. It's again because money has no energy, it's just a currency. So you have to change the concept. And that's for all you people that have a poverty state consciousness. Again, money has no energy except for the energy you give it. That there's an actual unfoldment process to you being able to make money. You have to, again, it just become what you love, do what you love, invest. It's not how great you are, it's how much love you pour into something. Because then the unfoldment process happens. Because a lot of times we say, I don't know how I'm going to get there. And that's a second chakra imbalance, when you're like, well, I don't know how it's going to happen. And Spirit says, yeah, because that's my job. You just need to, again, utilize what's in your environment and utilize it for what it can help you with. And don't depend on everything forever. There is nothing that's perfect forever. You have to, again, use everything in your environment to not just become yourself, but to heal yourself, because that's really what happens, and that's really what how you get security too. Because security we always perceive as, like I said, other people. Well, when you're becoming yourself, you are connected to other people, which is a root chakra healing, a root chakra thing, because you said, well, I never had support. I wasn't allowed to be me. And Spirit says, yeah, well, you get the family that is going to teach you the spiritual lessons, and then you get the family that you create. But you won't get that family unless you actually become yourself. Because understand, people die, people move away, people. So as you have to always be in a state of flow, and that's by just becoming yourself, because the unfoldment process happens, and as one door closes another door opens. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. Again, you're not in charge of how you get there. You utilize what you have and you continue to pour into yourself. Then you're in the now is when you'll be led through your gut intuition. But that gut, it's like that spirit saying, telling you. And it's about you giving and receiving of love through your free will. Like, I just love to do this. Oh, what do you do, Kara? Well, I had to train my nervous system. So what did you know it? I became a body mind coach. Yeah, now I'm on stage. I'm speaking to thousands of people. How did you do that, Kara? Because you were overstimulated. You used to have a stuttering problem when you used to get up on that stage. You were like, blee, 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 blee. And she said, well, I wanted the job, so I took lessons and I went to Toastmasters, and I met these people, and along the way, and Spirit says, you took the initiative to utilize what was in your environment to help you become yourself. You poured into yourself. You loved yourself. You had the goal. That's what creates safety and security. You do. It's like but you got to use that imagination. But again, you're not really utilizing that. You're in the logical, analytical mind, which is, I got $3 here, and the bill is $50, and I don't. I'm going to be homeless. That I'm going to be homeless. Because how am I going to get the money? So let me go back into my mind. Well, this is what's happened in the past, so this is sure to happen, and this is what the news tells me. And Spirit says, uh, this person, like, is not is again is out of alignment with spiritual law. They're not but here by mistake. They're here by God's design. They're part of the design to, again, become themselves. And they're, again, looking for the answer outside. So it's all about becoming. Because then your third eye opens. Because guess what? You're speaking your world into existence. God created the world with its voice. Well, you too creates the world with your voice by asking for what you need. Then you can say, oh, I could see how Mary Jane would hire me. How do you know that, Kara? Because, every week we go square dancing. She's got no body mind coordination. Everyone's going left. She's going right. She's got two left feet. She's a mess, and she likes the way that I dance. And I told her I trained my nervous system. I and this is just a side effect. Now I'm the best tap dancer and square dancer in the world. And I wasn't even planning that. It's just what happened. It's like I wasn't looking to do these things. It's that they appeared, they showed up. I was called to, I needed it. So I said, what the hell? I invested in me. And Spirit says, you don't pour enough into your cup. So your cup is half empty, and you're like, I can't drink. You know why? I got a half a cup. Like, again, so I'm gonna go thirsty. And Spirit says that cup should be being filled up all the time by you being in the passion for life, in your passion, and you're not, because that's the antidote. playing. There was no childhood. So again, being told this is what you'll do. Hey, aren't you connected to someone that is told what to do? And didn't you being raised with someone that told you what to do? So we can see again, like goes to like. You're a mirror of what? And so this person's an avoidant because, hey, I can't fix this. There's no way I could fix this. And you're an anxious person, which is, I never really get what I want. Watch this. Birthday's coming around. You think this moron will think about picking up the phone to nope, never happens for me. Never happens. And that spirit saying, it's like, because you have to do it yourself. Once you do it for yourself, you've embodied the new consciousness. The energetic imprint was the emotion that you lived most of the time in your childhood, and you were not happy. And so, and that was because they were not nice. So there is a sense of this is what it is. I can't really trust. And spirit says, you can, but you got to get a better connection to your body because otherwise your intuition and senses are going to take over. And highly sensitive people that grew up in an environment are that way because they were conditioned to be that way. I didn't trust the people in my environment. It's a side effect. It was like I became like more like super sensitive. But there are gifts for that, spirit says. You can tap into other people, you can help them. You can, again, once you love something, what did we say? When you love, you really love, you give it 1,000%. So we know that you'll be really good at this. And because, hey, I care. And the spirit says, you're the person, great person for the job. It's again, but you need to see the situation differently. You need to look at yourself differently. And that's only going to happen when you embody the new energy. And then life falls into place because everything shows up the way that it does. So spirit says, let's look and see why. Why? What are you supposed to be doing now? You know, because obviously if this person's not in your life, spirit says, well, there's something that should actually be taking the place of that person. And that's your mind can't be in two places at one time. You know, understand that. It can only be now to transform, spirit saying that's number one. So soon in the game, and spirit says to get courage. So we're going to read that a little bit more after, but facing fears, which again, there would be a lot of fear, and breaking the silence. So, spirit saying, well, it's the big picture is again to help you transform. You get this person into your life to awaken certain things inside of yourself. And that is this person never shows up. This person emotionally doesn't give to me. This person, I feel like I'm alone in a relationship. I'm never really happy. And so spirit's saying, so it looks a lot like your childhood, pretty much. It's just an extension of it. And you're like, yeah. And spirit says, yes. So the way that you transform it is to heal those inner child wounds. But again, no one should be able to make you feel unworthy. That root chakra is because where's the tribe? Where are the like-minded people? Where are you investing your time every week? You know, even if you went to yoga every week or you went walking every week, I mean, you meet people. That needs to be the whole emotional connection. I mean, people meet, you know, like-minded people when they join things. So spirit saying that's number one. But number two, understand that you have a lot of fear because you grew up in an environment where the people were not nice. So it's again, that's just a condition where you're just like, I just never feel safe. And that's a real root chakra imbalance. It's like because you were conditioned to always be on guard, where spirit's saying, then you're going to have too much sensitivity, and that's going to create like an overactive immune system. So what you're going to notice is you're going to have more allergies. You're going to notice, oh, I got a bug bite, and that bug bite like really like swelled up, like where other people aren't really as affected, you're really affected. And that's because of overstimulation. The adrenals at the first chakra. And again, the adrenal fatigue. So you're like, I don't know, I have brain fog. I don't know what I remember. Spirit says, yes, because of that overstimulation. So, reconditioning the nervous system through body mind work, through breath work. You should also alkalinize your blood body, because too much cortisol is going to, like, again, create imbalances. And also, you have to, like, get a better connection to the physical world, and that's through joining things and finding yourself, and not just doing the connection to the body and training your nervous system. But Spirit says there's a disconnect from the world, because again, never felt close to my mom or my dad, or again, I didn't feel safe. So Spirit says you can. It's not going to be those people though. You'll meet someone else. So it's about facing the fears, and the fear is not really anything. It's just your imagination of what could be, what might be. And Spirit says, well, you have to. It's mainly an illusion because of what you went through. So again, you have to confront your challenges. But in my thing, it's like you should confront your challenges, but have the support around you, get a better connection to your body. It's again in the, because here it is again, fearless heart, where you see that, have the courage again to act from a place of love instead of fear. And that is possible as long as you're loving yourself. See, it all starts with you. See, there's the illusion of, oh, treat other people the way that you want to be treated. Yeah, 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 yeah. Spirit says, treat yourself, love yourself first. Then you're able to love everybody else. But when you attract a person that doesn't love who they are, it's not possible for them to love you. And so you'll wind up with a person that doesn't know how to love you if you haven't loved yourself enough. That's pretty much what Spirit's saying. And it's like, so it was all about transformation, needing to transform this energy. Because as I said, I just feel like you attracted to a person that just really couldn't really be there. And then on top of it, it's just the same scenario. And at the end of the day, it's like, who fucking cares? Integrate this energy, because once you integrate it, you're no longer on this vibration. You can no longer attract that person, or if you attract it, it's not going to stay in your life, because you'd be like, I'm sorry, I have square dancing, tap dancing. I'm meeting Juan at the thing. I don't have time for this. I'm busy. I got things going on. Successful people have a busy calendar. They don't have time for like somebody that's not going to give them anything in return. So that's really what it is. It's like I could either have you come in my life and suck off my energy and essentially give me nothing, or I could be in the passion of my life doing things that I really enjoy, connected to people that emotionally I connect to, that give me support. Then once you're there, then Spirit says, then you're actually able to be consistent in creating a job for yourself, in creating, and to be able to go with the flow of life. You have no control over what happens in your life, but you have control over how you handle what happens in your life. And that you need to be connected better to the higher self, because that's how we come from a place of now and not just react from the things of the past. Because I feel like, Kara, you've been like a little bit in a karmic loop where it's like, hey, this is just the same exact thing. It's just different person. It's just the same theme, which tells me that I can't really have what I want. And Spirit says, you can. but you have to let go and integrate and put something in its place. You can't just let it go without putting something in its place. Alchemy teaches us that. So we say, oh, let it go. We can't let it go. You literally can't let it go because we've conditioned ourselves to hold on and to hold on because it's our safety. We really understand once you integrate that. And so you can't integrate it by saying, oh, I'm just going to stop. No, I mean, some people might be able to. I mean, I was never one that had much self control. I'm not going to lie, I have no self control. It's like, if I want to eat that ice cream, I'm eating that ice cream, But when you really want something, you can keep your focus on that instead of a person that's going to emotionally try and manipulate you, or if a person comes in and you're dealing with them for a job and they're not happy over you, all the time you'll deal with people that bully you when you grew up the way that you did, Kara. That's how the universe says, well, I'm going to bring this difficult person to you, and you're going to have to learn how to deal with this person. And you're going to be like, I always get people that are like this. And where was the original one? Well, it grew up with parents that were like this. Yeah. And so Spirit's saying, so there's a sense of I feel like I never grew up. I feel like I'm not. And Spirit says it starts with healing your body. Once the connection to your body, then everything else will flow. People think that they're very psychic when they're up in their mind all the time. Guess what? You're even more psychic when you're grounded, because it's the act of co-creating, where Spirit says, I don't really need you up in your head. I need you like to be the expression of love, to help, to give and receive of love. And that's where your money will come. That's where your tribe will come. That's where everything will come. And when you look at successful people, you may say, well, it's they have the money. Well, most of them didn't have the money. Most of them started off with no money and they became themselves. You could easily inherit money and lose money if you're poverty conscious, consciousness. So understand, it's all about just getting, I am in my head. Yeah, and you got to get more into your physical body, and that's difficult for you because you learned how to survive through not being present. Because as a kid, you couldn't escape. You were like, I have to be here. I have to depend on these people. It's like, where am I going to go? It's like, and that man, and you were terrified. So as a child, so to live in such a high state of anxiety, you have to imagine how much cortisol is being dumped into your body and what that does to your adrenal. You have to again recondition that, because you could think, well, I feel normal, but it's like, but Spirit says it's not normal, and you'll know it because you'll have high cholesterol. There'll be a blocked heart chakra, and that's what's going to happen. Because I was taught not to trust, and Spirit says, so it's again anasana, to be unstuck, to let go. It's like it becomes a problem. So you may say, oh, I'm not fat. Well, listen, you could be a beanpole. It doesn't matter with just a high anxiety thing. You're out of balance, and over time, like, it's not good because we automatically wind up in stressful situations because life is stressful. So why enter into a stressful situation already stressed? It's not a good look, trust me. I lived that way for a long time, and it's not. You become very emotional, and then people think you're crazy, and you don't really want that. So you want to feel good about yourself. You want to feel confident. And the way that you get confident is again through reconditioning your nervous system and through becoming yourself. All else will fall into place. The path will unfold. But what will be the strongest thing is you'll have a good relationship with yourself. You'll have a good relationship with the higher self, and you will have met your tribe. Then you're able to deal with whatever situation that comes your way, because you'll feel like you'll be guided from spirit, the higher self. See, it's not so much that we shouldn't get readings, like it says, oh, don't get readings. It's just if people aren't healed, then they may be reading from their level of consciousness. So you always want to be able to read for yourself too, and everyone can. It's that they don't have a good connection to their body. They get overstimulated, they get too emotional, so that the emotions, and you already have that. So in stress, that would be, and people can read that. So you say, I always get bullied. That's because people can read that. Oh, you're someone I can frazzle very easily. And it's usually because you're too nice. It's like, oh, I'm just nice. I don't like to cause waves. I just mold. And so spirit saying, it's think about it this way. It's like you already are nice. Focus on being respected, because people that are respected have are like people are nicer too. It's like the nice people. People that are nice, people don't just respect, and people that are just nice for the sake of being nice, then what winds up happening is it's like you're saying, I don't want to cause any problems. I like to go along with everything. So you're a target. So like, oh, let me like just kind of bully you a little bit. Let me act as if I'm superior. Let me act as if where you're like, okay, why am I working with this asshole that thinks that they're more superior? They think that they can treat me this way. And spirit says because of that. It's again due to your sensitivity. So all those are second chakra imbalances that you have, Kara, that with the behaviorisms that are coming out. So that is why you have to train your nervous system, do the body mind work. Take a course on Udemy, a cheap one. See how does this feel for me? Understand. Take different ones. Find yourself. Do thank you, Joy. Like but it's also like you can do things like somatic healing, where hey, I just want to like work with my body to like release that energy and relax. Start where you are. And it only takes a mustard seed's worth of effort every day, every day, every day. Be consistent, be consistent. And what you'll find is sometimes you'll want to do it for like, today I did it for 5 minutes. And I really had to stretch it by 3 minutes. I wanted to get out. And then other days you're like, I just want to lay there for like an hour. It's like every day. Don't force it to be every day I'm going to do it for an hour. No. Allow your process. Allow your process. Let your spirit guide you. Be consistent. And yeah, if you don't want to do whatever, that's a problem. You have to force yourself to do it. And sometimes if people have a really bad root chakra imbalance, you're going to deal with that energy, because it's like, I have no energy. I have brain fog. I'm just tired. I feel lethargic. And it's because those adrenals have been on overdrive by your mind. So for you, it's also, you got to listen to like spiritual, spiritual stuff, because you have to recondition your mind. Remember, you were taught in an environment, hey, what's wrong with you? Hey, like, this is wrong, that's wrong. They were negative. People that are not nice to children are negative. You already know that. So you were conditioned in an environment that was like that. So you have to recondition your mind, because eventually you'll change the way that you think. What'll happen is you'll change it, where you're like, of course, see, look, of course that jerk off, they pulled out of the parking spot going backwards instead of the front. They knew that I was waiting. They knew I was waiting. I was actually in a car with someone that said that this weekend, and I was like, okay, this person's getting triggered, you know? And it's like, I said, they didn't know. They weren't paying attention to you. They were focused on the parking spot. They didn't see you on the other side. Like, oh, look, I'm going to try and steal that parking spot, but we could tell the way that she was brought up. It said everything. Like, oh yeah, you just want to be mean. You just want to do the wrong thing. So you'll catch yourself when you begin to listen to the law of attraction. When you listen to like science of the mind, that's a really good one. It's easy to understand. You can see how everything lines up and how the law of attraction and spiritual laws all line up. And you'll catch yourself, and then it's to begin to walk that way, and that's how it starts. And then your own unfoldment process happens, which, spirit brings you other people and situations and experiences to change you, to heal you, to mold you into the person that you are. But it's not based on the past. It may be based on the past because, in spite of having those parents that raised you, there is love at the basis. When we have parents that are that way, we can't help but to love them because it's embedded in us. That's why it hurts. So we don't know how to let go. We don't know because we're saying, well, I'm still, my life is still not working. And spirit says, yeah, that's the way that you see it, but you keep putting your pants on like a shirt. So, it's not going to work out. You have to do something different. And then you're going to see, because there's many different realities. Try something different. So once you again become yourself, what you'll see is, I'm not broken. They didn't break me. They actually thought that they were broken. That's why they treated me the way that they did. That's their anger. They projected it all on to me. And wow, look how strong I am. Look how strong. And look what I did with this energy, this shitty energy. It's like, again, they say that's the best energy because it's that energy that is really fire, because there's so much rage and pain, and that you can work with that. It's creative energy, is what spirit says. You're meant to do something with that energy. You have to, for your heart. You have to. It's like, because it's again opening up your heart. You cannot just going to open up your heart like, oh yeah, and now I trust. Spirit says it doesn't work that way. You can't just let go. It comes after a certain point. You can't. It's a habit. It's a condition. It was a survival mechanism. But when you become yourself and you're connecting to people and you're doing what you love and you're giving and receiving of love, your heart opens, because you're not focused on that person coming into my life and hurting me. You're focused on giving, giving. You ever notice how good it feels to give? Well, you're always giving and giving and giving. And then the universe rewards you for that because you're in this high vibration. And life again transcends. It's like, because you're not focused on it, you're not worried about it, you're able to go with the flow. You're not focused on what this person feels or doesn't like about you, or what this, because believe me, you're going to get them. And I'd be a liar to say that you're not, because those are wounds that aren't healed. And spirit says, well, what you resist persists. It says it in every spiritual scripture. It's like you have to heal it. And so it becomes all with being strong within you. Then you can get exactly what you want, is what Spirit's saying. But it's about healing yourself, becoming yourself first. I hate it when I can't find, there they are. Now I'm going to pull one more. Yeah, haters are going to hate. And but the thing is, when you're highly sensitive and you grew up in an environment where you became so sensitive to other people's feelings, and your survival mechanism was to become self-serving, self servient, is what I'm trying to say, like to like people in your environment, because it was an emotional like response to feeling safe, right? Being around people that don't make you feel good. So that's what the problem is. It's like you'll get triggered into being the giver, the doer, and not get anything back, and being treated disrespectfully, because people are like, oh, you're always available. Oh, you're just more than willing to do it. Oh yeah, you're just so nice. It's like, unfortunately, people respect people that they have to work for it a little bit. So, and it's not that you should ever, you know, change who you are, but understand if you emotionally are getting enough, then other people's emotions, they don't affect you. They don't. It's like, because what is happening is, as you become stronger, you're able to shut that out. But it is something that does need to take time, because otherwise, Kara, I'm afraid that your environment would really influence you. But like I said, I feel like it brings you to your path. And so look at this. It's all about you right now. It's not about relationships. Spirit says, if you notice, we didn't really even talk that much about relationship. It's like that person just couldn't do anything. They didn't really do anything. It was just a whole lot of nothing. And Spirit says, yeah, it's all about you becoming yourself and allowing serenity to reign in yourself. The love that you have for yourself invites harmony to settle within your being, that you listen and honor and strive to fulfill the needs of your soul. And one of the needs is to feel safe and secure on an emotional level, on a physical level, on a psychological level. And Spirit says, and the way to do it is through your soul's path, becoming yourself. And then you build your life around that. Meaning life should look like a pizza pie, but two slices go towards creating yourself. Because the universe says, well, I'm jealous, so you have to give more to me. And so again, making sure that you give as much to me, and that's through becoming yourself, becoming the expression of love by pouring into yourself, because I'm inside of you, is what the universe says. The universe says, I'm love. You need to, again, keep feeding that. Then everything else, you should have time for friends, time for hobbies and interests, time to, because you shouldn't just be focusing on work all the time and your passion of what you're doing. And we get more ideas when we take time out. We get different perception from walking away sometimes and coming back to what we do. And then this way, when a relationship comes into your life, you're not so available. And if they don't treat you the way that they need to treat you, then you're not going to care. You'll say, you know what? I'd rather go square dancing. I'd rather do anything except for hang out with this person, because they don't bring anything to the table. Well, how do you know that, Kara? Because I'm a very busy person. You think I have a lot of time, and my days off, I like to do things. This person doesn't want to do anything except for Netflix and chill. They can do, and I no. It's like, bring something to like, I'm doing things. And if you're nervous, you're like, well, I get a little anxiety around relationships, then you're focused on what you're doing. You're not focused on each other. And you're not telling this person everything about yourself, which you never should do. It's like, you don't know who the person is. It's like, so why are you going to tell them, I was in a bad relationship before, this person did this, that? Why? That person will wind up doing the same exact thing that the previous person did half the time when you do that. And second of all, they should work for any information. It's like, meaning, if you spend the time and be around me, you'll know. It'll come out organically. I don't gotta sit here and have, like, where I'm on an interview with you. It's like, no. It's like, why? Because when you look at successful people, do you think that they have time to sit there and tell everybody about, their life? No. It's like, because time is considered on the same level as money, and you only have limited amounts of time and money. That's why. So it needs to be going towards growing you and into you, because when someone meets you, what you're saying to them without saying anything, Kara, is, I respect myself and I love myself. I have a life, I have other things going on, in my life, and if you don't treat me well, you'll be replaced because I only have so much time. It's like that's what you're saying without saying anything. It's like, and you're commanding respect because now people are going to try what they do. They're going to try what they do, but the difference is that when they try it, you walk away and you're emotionally not, you don't have a big hole in your heart saying, I don't understand, because the hole is always created because of how much you give. So remember, a person if that hasn't even given a lot of times has the power to like to really wound you. And that is one way that you avoid the karmic consequences, because people that emotionally have gotten hurt, that's their theme. They're like, all I know is that I go into the relationship, I'm honest, I'm good. I, if anything, I go high and above, and then the person treats me like this. And then and spirit says, yeah, because you treated them better than how you treated us. Once again, you can't treat them better than how you treat yourself. Who are they? They're not better than us. It's again, and so that's how you learn. So Spirit says it's all about you right now. Now, does anyone have any questions or want to know anything before I close this out? Thank you, Kara, so much for watching my my videos and supporting the channel, and thank you for your gift that you sent me earlier. I'm a Virgo. I'm a Virgo, but everything underneath me is Scorpio. I'm more of a Scorpio, and I'm not a Virgo at all. If anything, I need to master Virgo. You know, I don't. I'm not organized. I'm not a mental person. I'm a spiritual person. I'm a. No, I'm not a Virgo. I have to master everything in Virgo, but I'm right on the cusp. I'm September 21st. And so it's again that like the next day I wouldn't even be, I'd be a Libra. And I don't like Libras because my mother was Libra and I still don't get along with her and she's dead. So I'm to make this note too. Just because you're on the healing journey and you're a healer doesn't mean you're 100% healed. I mean, it's a walk. It's a walk. It's a walk. I love my mom more than I have. Every day it gets a little bit easier, but I know what it's like to condition yourself to you know not trust. I mean, my mom tried to kill me several times. She was mentally imbalanced from the abuse that she went through, and my grandfather was a great man. He fought in World War II. He jumped off the buildings to save people. He was captain of the New York City Fire Department, Hell's Kitchen. But what he saw and what he lived around, that affected him. He had trauma. And understand, when people don't heal, they get triggered over every little thing. And so he took a lot out on my mother, and that affected her. And she never got healing. And then she married my dad, who had cancer 9 times. I wrote a book about it. And so understand, I grew up that way. So I grew up more in a survival, the high survival. So my psychic ability is claircognizance, which is knowing. And that's because the more clairsentience you become, which is you have to feel as a kid, you're like sensing, the more that it just, I don't know how I know, I just know that. And it's because the two go together. And that's where really the foundation of mediumship. And so we also know that from living in high survival environments, what happens after a while, you just tune out. You just kind of like can go into that psychic realm. But that's how you do mediumship. You're like there, but you're not. I was one of those kids in school where I was like, because I can go into that realm really easy. And that realm where they would like, all she does is daydream all day. So they left me back in first grade. So, having to be present is actually the whole, you have to recondition that. And that's why I know, Kara, like again, about your nervous system, because I had that. I know about, being overly sensitive to my environment because, again, you were conditioned. And why relationships are hard. Relationships are hard because that's the environment you grew up in. So that's why you have to create a new reality, and you can never heal yourself in the same place that you got sick. And that's the thing. Doesn't mean not to love those people, but sometimes what it does mean is to, limit your time, and make sure that you're, healing yourself and getting the support and taking care of yourself while you're doing it. That's the key. No questions, no questions. All right, I'm going to leave you all with one last message, which is the voice of the heart. Silence the fear in you and discover the voice of your heart. The fruit of these words guides you. Trust the song of your soul. Your intuition leads you to the path to light. And really, your intuition is what leads you when you're on your soul's path. And that is leading you to light because it's leading you to the relationship that you can have, not just with the higher self, but with the people that are actually on the planet that you extend yourself to. Thank you for joining me. And thank you again, Kara, for supporting the channel. Thank you everyone else also for staying with me. Love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.